All right, Ebony Moore. Now, Ebony Moore has the power of suggestion. He can make weaker minds do what he wants. But in Snap, he can't be played after turn 3, and when you do play him, you can't play any other cards there. So that's nothing to do with the power of persuasion. The power of suggestion. Like it's got nothing to do with that. It should be. Oh, I think he did have telekinesis. Yeah, I think he does, Machete. Like, to be honest, the Black Order haven't really been that fleshed out in the comics. I think he should make it so that your opponent can't play cards at the location. Like, he should be Professor X. What Professor X's abilities got. Because he's suggesting to your opponent that you don't play cards here. Yeah. Alright. Echo, when your opponent plays an ongoing card here, remove its abilities. Nothing to do with Echo. I haven't watched the Echo TV series yet, but I know for a fact they changed her powers for the TV series. In the comics, she can echo any acrobatic or fighting move that she sees someone else do. So she's basically like Taskmaster. Yeah, she's basically Taskmaster. So the fact that she removes ongoing cards' abilities, like I said, again, I haven't watched the Echo TV series, and I don't want it spoiled for me, so please don't say anything about it. But going purely off her comic book abilities, nothing to do with her. Yeah, I've heard it's completely different. Because the showrunner for Echo said that in the comics her power is boring. So that's why they changed it for the show. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that's not a fucking good enough reason to change the source material. Or to deviate from the source material. Yeah, it's fucking dumb. Anyway, Electro gives you +1 energy per turn. But you can only play 1 card per turn. He powers up himself. He doesn't power up others. I'm going to go sort of, kind of, not really with Electro. And the whole being able to play only 1 card per turn, that's nothing to do with Electro. Like, he doesn't have any kind of limiting ability like that in the comics. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a sort of, kind of, not really. I mean, he definitely juices himself up with electricity, but it's himself. He actually should have had Havoc's power, I think. Havoc's power should have been Electro. Because Havoc's power makes much more sense for Electro. Doesn't make any sense for Havoc. Yeah, so Electro absorbs your turn energy to make himself stronger. That's actually spot on, perfect Electro. Yeah, if he had Havoc's ability, he'd be in spot on. But he doesn't. Alright, Electra. Destroy a 1-cost card at your opponent's location. Nothing to do with Electra. She's a ninja, trained by the hand, once ruler of the hand, ended up siding with the Chaste, who were the enemies of the hand, and sought to destroy the hand. And now she operates as... she took over for Daredevil for a time, when Matt Murdock was thought deceased. She's an assassin. She kills a 1-cost card. That's it. Okay, look. I'll put her in not much to work with. That's kind of a better fit, I think. Not much to work with for her. All right, Elsa Bloodstone. +2 if you play another card at her location. No, Elsa's a monster hunter. Yeah, Elsa's a monster hunter from a long line of monster hunters. Like, her father was Ulysses Bloodstone. A world-renowned monster hunter in his own right. And now Elsa's taken on the responsibility with the power of the Bloodstone that gives her a healing factor, long life. Yes, she should have Shang's ability, 100%. Yes, I agree with that. I've said that often, Schnitty. Electra's ability probably could have been kill a random enemy card at this location, but Electra's not about random killing. That would be bullseye. Alright, Enchantress. Remove the abilities from all ongoing cards at the location. That's not really what the Enchantress is about. The Enchantress is about hypnotizing others into serving her. And helping her get her own way. Yeah, imagine if cards had classifications like monsters or mutants. That's what I was saying earlier in the stream, that I wish Snap had factions. There's so much they could do with a system like factions. They could, like, Avengers, Fantastic Four, Mutant, Monster, Villain. There's so much more they could do with this game with factions. Yeah. So I think, yes, the Enchantress has the abilities to cast spells to turn off other people's abilities. Like, she's an Asgardian sorceress. So that's why I put her in sort of, kind of, not really. But yeah, she's all about hypnotizing others into serving her and doing her bidding. Alright, Falcon, return your other 1-cost cards to your hand. Nope. That's not Falcon. Falcon was rescues weaker cards. He's alright. Nah. That's not what Falcon's about. Like, he's a street level hero. He was given the wings by the Black Panther actually built his first set of wings. Originally, Falcon didn't have wings, couldn't fly. He just had a psychic link with his pet bird, Redwing. No, there should have been some interaction with Redwing. He should have, like, summoned Redwing to a location, or he can actually see through the eyes of other birds as well. So he could have been kind of like a scout, somewhat like Daredevil, where he could have sent a bird to a location to see what enemy cards are hidden there, or something like that. Something cooler like that, And now he's also, there's a new Falcon now. He operates as a second Captain America. Sam does. Alright. Forge. Give your next card +2 power. Sort of, kind of, not really. I think Forge is a mutant inventor. He can think up something to build, and then he can build it. And just instinctively build it. He's not a mechanical genius. He's not an engineering prodigy. He just knows how to build it. Summon Redwing into your opponent's hand, reveal the card next to it, let you peek at their hand. That's brilliant. I love that. That would be great. It's thematic. Giving you valuable information in game would make him really cool to play. Yeah, that'd be super cool. But yeah, Forge is a mutant inventor. He's not a mechanical genius. He's not an engineer. He just knows how to build shit. He once built a gun that could nullify mutant powers. which he did when he was going for Rogue, but he hit Storm, interceded, and Storm lost her powers. So the fact that Forge is limited to just give your next card +2 power, which is something he could do. Tony Stark's, he's kind of jealous of Forge. There was a thing in Iron Man comics recently. Yeah, he definitely does. There was an interaction with Forge and Iron Man recently in Iron Man's comic. Because in the comics, Iron Man just recently married Emma Frost. And he's basically helping the mutants in their fight against the anti-mutant organization Orcus. But yeah, I think he's somewhat jealous of Forge, but he also does think it's cheating, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I think there's a lot more they could have done with Forge, and to limit him to just +2 power is kind of disappointing. Alright. The one, the only Galactus. If this is your only card here and you're winning the location, destroy all other locations. Alright, they got close. Galactus doesn't land on a planet and destroy the planets next to it. Galactus destroys the planet he lands on. So they got close. But he needs to destroy the planet he lands on. Or the location he lands at. And then that's a win for him. He stays there for the rest of the game, nomming on the planet. Hey, nerd, no, this is about how close to the comic book character the card's ability in Snap is. So, like, for example, Arrow can control wind. In Snap, she blows an opponent to your location. That's pretty much spot on. Yeah, destroy this location, cards can't be added here. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're winning the location and he's the only card there, he blows that location up. No other cards can be played there. He wins that. He sits there for the rest of the game, nomming on it. And then you've got the 2 other locations left to fight for. That would make him... You could still use the same visual effect. That wouldn't need to change. You could still use the same board effect of the location exploding, but it would only be the location where he's at. You replace it with, like, the Galactus machinery to show that he's nomming on the planet. And then you and your opponent are still left to fight over the last 2 locations. I think that would be a much better representation of Galactus in-game. It would make him less oppressive, because the big issue people have with Galactus in Snap is that he removes 2 locations out of 3. That's huge. That's massively impactful. And that's why a lot of people hate him. Because all the work they've put into the game up until that point is null and voided. But if you make him destroy the location you play him at, and there's still 2 locations left to play for, then all of their work isn't null and void. You see what I mean? So like, I think that would be a lot better. That would be a lot better. And I'd honestly, as a Galactus enjoyer, I'd honestly be fine with that. I would be absolutely fine with that. Also, I'm sorry that this tier list is getting smaller and smaller, but this list at the bottom here is getting bigger and bigger. Alright, Gambit. Chucks a card from your hand to destroy an enemy card. Gambit is spot on. Yeah, Gambit's spot on. Originally he wasn't, because you could still use him when you didn't have any cards in hand. But if you play Gambit and you don't have any cards in hand, he doesn't throw anything. So that's a lot better now. So yeah. The fact now that you have to have cards in hand for him to throw is a lot better. So yeah, so I think Gambit's spot on. I think they got him great. Gamora, I'm putting Gamora in the not much to work with category along with Drax. if you played a card at the location where you played her, she gets extra power. That's not Gamora. I mean, she's the adopted daughter of Thanos. Um, she's really good with swords. But that's really about it. There's not a whole lot to Gamora. You know. Yeah. I actually think they should have done more. She should have been like a blade or something like that. Discarding a card from your hand or from your opponent's hand even. Like, she should have Black Bolt's power, maybe. Even, I think. Alright, Ghost. Basically makes you lose priority. Your cards always reveal last. It's got nothing to do with Ghost. In the comics, Ghost, one, Ghost is a male, and two, he's a technology thief. Yeah, he sabotages and steals from corporations. He steals technology and sabotages corporations. And he basically has a suit that makes him not only invisible but intangible. Lets him walk through walls, which is how he breaks into companies and sabotages or steals from them. So yeah, but making your cards reveal last. Yeah, exactly, Shanidi. That's a good idea. Move to the other side when you play them. At the end of the game, returns to your side. Yeah. Yep, that'd be really cool. All right, Ghost Rider brings back a discarded card to your location. No, Ghost Rider is the spirit of vengeance. Right? Whenever evil rears its head, Ghost Rider's there to take it down and make them live out their sins by the use of his penance stare. Like, make them suffer their sins by using his penance stare. Yeah, Ghost Rider doesn't resurrect people. That's not something that Ghost Rider does. None of the Ghost Riders do that. So yeah, Ghost Rider is a not even remotely close card. Would have been cool if they did something like with his penance stare or something like that. Also, the fact that we still don't have a Nick Cage Ghost Rider variant is criminal. Yeah, that needs to be addressed immediately. Alright, Ghost Spider, pull the last card you played to your location. I think she's a sorta, kinda, not really. I mean, Gwen doesn't go around pulling friends to her location. We need a peeing fire variant? No, we don't. We really don't, Zephyr. No. Licensing issues, don't you know? It's Marvel. I know, it's a Sony movie. It's fucking Sony, like, fucking, no. Piss off. Yeah. But Marvel have the Ghost Rider movie rights back, but that particular movies were still... Those particular Ghost Rider movies were still Sony, so yeah, I know. Yeah, Ghost Spider's a sort of, kind of, not really. I mean, yeah, she's a web slinger. You know, she's basically a girl Spider-Man. Because, yeah, in her dimension, she got bitten by the spider instead of Peter. Generous of me? I mean... Yeah, she thwips the webs, pulls, yeah, like, it's, like, what do you do? You know? I mean, there's a lot more they could have done with it. Actually, I mean, I'm kind of even thinking maybe even spot on, like, I don't know, it's a tough one. Like, yeah, it's a tough one. In fact, I might even go with not much to work with. Because there really isn't a whole lot to work with. Does she have any unique ability? No, she's literally female Spider-Man. Yeah. Like I said, in her reality, she was bitten by the radioactive spider and got the spider abilities that Peter Parker did in our reality. So, yeah, she's literally female Spider-Man. Alright, Giganto can only be played at the left location. He's a not much to work with. He's a giant monster. That's literally all he is. But the whole being able to only play him at the left location, that just seems arbitrarily weird. And nothing to do with the character at all. So, but I mean, look, I'll give him that. Not much to work with, you know. Also, I'm very surprised that we got Giganto and we still haven't seen Mole Man in-game at all. Yeah, I don't know. It seems very weird, an ability to go with, but it just seems like it doesn't really matter what ability you put on him. He's just big, thick boy. Yeah. Alright, Gladiator. Pull an opponent's card to your side of this location and then destroy it. I'm going to put him in sort of, kind of, not really. Gladiator is another Superman analog in Marvel. He's an alien. He flies. Super strong. Eye beams. Invulnerable. But, fun fact with Gladiator, and the cool thing I've always liked about Gladiator, his abilities are tied to his confidence level. Which is why he often comes across like a much more arrogant character. Because he needs to be arrogant. He needs to be supremely confident. Because that gives him his powers. No, he's not a villain. He's a hero. He actually was leader of the Shi'ar Empire for a time. He's definitely not a Homelander. He's much more like Superman. He's definitely a heroic character. Yeah. And so it ties into his abilities with the more confident he is, yeah, his power level is based on his confidence level. So I always really, really liked that about him. He was leader of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard. Yes. But he always did what was best for the Shi'ar Empire. Yeah. So, but in this, like, he's not about destroying things. Like, the fact that they gave him an ability where he summons a card from your opponent's deck and then blows it up, that's not really what he does. Not really what he does at all. All right. This list is getting smaller and smaller. All right, Goose. Cards that cost 4, 5, or 6 can't be played here. That's got nothing to do with Goose. Goose is a Flurkin. Flurkins have a pocket dimension inside their stomach, which is where they can like pull things in with their tentacles and then store stuff inside the pocket dimension inside their stomach. They just happen to look like Earth cats as well, because, you know, that's how evolution works in alien species. And also they lay eggs which hatch into baby Flurkins, which if you've seen the Marvels, you'll know. And I love that bit. But yeah. Also, fun fact, in the comics, Goose is not called Goose. Goose is named Chewie, after Chewbacca. If your opponent plays a 4, 5, 6 cost card here, consume it and absorb its power. Perfect. That would be perfect for Goose. Yes, if you play a big card here, Goose gonna eat it. That would be spot on. Alright, I wish I could make this thing wider. I can't make it wider though. Yeah. Alright, Grandmaster. On reveal, it moves one of your other on reveal cards at this location to the middle location and does its ability again. That's got nothing to do with the Grandmaster. Yeah, Von Schnitty, why aren't you working for second dinner? I know, right? Schnitty comes up with some great ideas. Um, Grandmaster. All right. So in the comics, Grandmaster is one of the elders of the universe, and Grandmaster's all about games and gambling. He loves playing games and gambling, like all of existence. You know, on the outcome of a game. You know, kind of thing. But in the MCU, he's Jeff Goldblum. Um, and they made him ruler of Sakaar, which is not the case in the comics. Like Grandmaster has nothing to do with Sakaar in the comics. But yeah, Grandmaster's ability in Snap nothing to do with either comic book or MCU Grandmaster. So give him the leaked Mephisto ability. Yeah, there you go. All right, Green Globule. When you on reveal moves to your opponent's side of the board. It's got nothing to do with Green Goblin. Green Goblin flies around on his little glider and throws pumpkin bombs everywhere. They had to add friggin' Oscorp Tower to throw the pumpkin bombs in Snap as a location. Like, that's kind of bad. You know. So yeah, absolutely nothing to do with the character. Damn, we're only halfway through. We're what, halfway through? Jesus Christ, we've got so many to go through. Alright. Groot. If your opponent played a card here, it gets extra power. That's nothing to do with Groot. They could have done more with the healing ability, healing aspects of his plant-like nature. Is Green Goblin Spider-Man's greatest nemesis? Absolutely. Yeah, so I don't think there's a lot they could have done with Groot. Sorry, there's a lot more they could have done with his healing ability. Like when you play him at a location, he heals up your cards there if they have negative power. So yeah, I think there's a lot more they could have done with Groot, and just giving him extra power when your opponent plays a card there. That's not how Groot doesn't get stronger from that. Anyway, Havoc. You get one less energy per turn, but he gets +2 power. That's got nothing to do with Havoc. Like I said, that should be Electro's power. That should absolutely be Electro's power. Havoc absorbs cosmic radiation and redirects it and rechannels it into plasma blasts from his hands. So that's what Havoc does. It's got nothing to do with his ability. Nothing to do with his ability in Snap. Alright, we're just gonna have to scroll this down. This is gonna be a big section. Hawkeye. If you play another card here next turn, +2 power. I'm sorry, it's fucking Hawkeye. Dude's a great shot with a bow and arrow. Never misses. He should have Yondu's power, honestly. Yeah, he should have Yondu's ability. Snipe a card out of your opponent's deck. That's it. Alright, Hazmat. Affect enemy cards here with negative power. That is actually pretty spot on. Hazmat's pretty spot on. That's what she does. She generates radioactive energy. So yeah, they got Hazmat. Spot on. Alright, Heimdall. On reveal, move cards to the left. Pretty difficult to put in the chart. Yeah, Heimdall. I'm gonna go sorta kinda not really with him. I get what they were going for with Heimdall being the steward of the Bifrost, the Rainbow Bridge, and you know, moving people along, like moving people to different dimensions via the Bifrost. But yeah, actually, you know what? We're going to put Heimdall in close. I get what they were going for with that, and it is a bit of a difficult thing to do. But also, you have to remember too that Heimdall sees everything as well. Heimdall's all-seeing. So they haven't really accurately reflected that in the game much. All right, Hela, resurrect your discarded cards to random locations. Not really. She's the goddess of death. She doesn't resurrect souls from death. She condemns them to hell. Like, yeah, that she rules hell, and she makes sure that people that go to hell stay in hell. Hell with one L, by the way. That's the Asgardian way. So yeah, she's a sort of kind of not really. Also, fun fact, in the MCU, they made it out that she was Odin's daughter, so Thor and Loki's sister. In the comics, that's not the case at all. In fact, I believe in the comics, she's Loki's daughter, I think. Someone might need to correct me on that, but I'm fairly certain she's Loki's daughter. All right, Helicarrier. When this is discarded, add random cards. I get that the helicarrier is a transport ship for S.H.I.E.L.D. But the fact that you could get Galactus from a helicarrier makes no fucking sense whatsoever. So I'm just going to give him a not much to work with there. She's the daughter of Loki in Norse myth. Well, Marvel Comics character, the Marvel Comics Asgardian pantheon is based off Norse mythology. So I'm pretty sure that if she's the daughter of Loki in Norse myth, that same thing applies in Marvel's lore. Add random shield agents to your hand. Exactly, Schnitty. Yeah, it should be random shield agents. So look, we're going to go with sort of, kind of, not really. For Helicarrier. Alright, Hellcow. On reveal, discard 2 cards from your hand. No. Hellcow is a vampire cow. We've told the story of Bessie the Hellcow a few times on stream. But basically, yes, Bessie was just your average cow grazing away when one night a starving Dracula encountered her and bit her and drained her blood to survive, and then the following night she came back to life as a vampire cow. That's it. That's Hellcow. She's a vampire cow. So the fact that she just discarded 2 cards from your hand, nothing to do with a vampire cow. I'm sorry, but no. Alright, Hercules. His ability is to move the first card that enters that location. First time another card moves here each turn, move it to another location. I'm going to go with sort of, kind of, not really for Hercules as well. I know a lot of the labors of Hercules involved moving stuff. So I can see that might be where they got the idea for his power from. But yeah, Hercules is just a demigod. He's just a big, strong dude. And yeah, he's a demigod. He's the son of Zeus and a mortal woman. So he's half man, half god. He's been a member of the Avengers for a long time. He's been a member of the Champions as well. He's had a long time friendship / rivalry with Thor. Yeah, so Not really a lot they could do with him, but if what I'm thinking is right, and the fact that they gave him an ability related to movement because a lot of the labors of Hercules was moving stuff, involved moving stuff, then yeah. All right. Hi Evo, give your cards with no abilities. I'm gonna go with sorta, kinda, not really. First and foremost, the High Evolutionary doesn't experiment on like other superhumans like Cyclops, Hulk, etc. Like, it was revealed that he did experiment on Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. So, but for the most part, he's all about evolving animals into humanoid versions of themselves. Like in the movies, they tied him to Rocket's origin, but in the comics, he got nothing to do with Rocket. He actually created the Animen, and he did create Counter Earth, which was an exact duplicate of Earth that existed on the opposite side of the sun to Earth's orbit. And it was populated full of his Animen. So that bit's right. But the fact that in Snap he gives abilities to cards like Cyclops and Hulk and Shocker, like, no, he's fought against the X-Men, or the X-Men have fought against him before. I don't think he's ever... I think he has had an encounter with Hulk. He's even fought Galactus before, for fuck's sake. But he never gave Cyclops his powers. He never gave Shocker... Well, Shocker doesn't have powers. Shocker has gadgets that he uses. But yeah, you get what I mean. It's not really accurate. All right. Yeah, which is why I put him in sorta, kinda, not really. Hit Monkey gains extra power for each other card you played this turn. No, he's a monkey assassin. So I've told Hit Monkey's origin on stream before. Basically, there was this human assassin who tried to kill a Japanese crime lord and failed. And he was mortally wounded. He was saved by a tribe of snow monkeys, one of which was Hit Monkey. He was just a regular monkey then, though. They nursed him back to health, and he swore revenge on the Japanese crime lord. So he was like doing training montages and stuff to regain his strength. The monkey watched him do this and was able to mimic what he did. The dude saw this and took it upon himself to sorry, to go back a bit. The monkey watched him train. The crime lord sent assassins to find the guy. They found him in the crossfire. The monkey's family was killed. The dude's spirit helped train the monkey to gain revenge on the Japanese crime lord. And then once he did that, Hit Monkey moved to America and became a hitman. As you do. Vampire cows and monkey assassins. The Marvel Zoo is terrifying. It is. So the Punisher, but it's a monkey. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. Yep. He's one of my... I love Hit Monkey. I think he's great. There was an animated series a while back. I still need to watch that. Apparently, it's really good. But yeah, but the fact that they gave him an ability where he gets extra power for each other card played, that... No, he doesn't gain power like that. He's a monkey assassin. Yeah. Alright, Hobgoblin. Again, when you play it, goes to the opponent's side. No, that's nothing to do with Hobgoblin. He's pretty much another version of Green Goblin. Flies on a glider, throws pumpkin bombs. But he's a different type of goblin. The original Hobgoblin was a guy named Roderick Kingsley who found a stash of the Green Goblin's equipment and then used it to, like, create a new persona as the Hobgoblin. Actually, no, sorry, it was Ned Leeds was the original. And then Roderick Kingsley took over from Ned Leeds after Ned was killed. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Ability in Snap, nothing to do with the comic book version. So, alright. The Hood. Add a demon to your hand. I mean... Okay, so the Hood got supernatural abilities from making a deal with a demon. So I'd put it in close. Because he doesn't like summon, like the demon takes over his body. When he like lets the demon take control, basically. So they kind of got close with that relationship, but I wouldn't say it's spot on. But they did get close, so I'll give him a close on that one. He was like a mob goomba that got in over his head. I think so. I don't know a lot about the Hood. I know his real name's Parker Robbins. I know he's about to become the new Ghost Rider in Marvel. All right, Howard the Duck. You can see what the top card of your deck is. I get what they were going for with Howard being a private investigator, but it's not quite. So for those that don't know, Howard comes from an alternate reality called Duck World, right? Where instead of humans being the dominant species, it's ducks, right? Yes, he's a private duck. And he ended up trapped in our reality, couldn't get back to Duck World, and so he made a life for himself here. And yeah, he became a private detective. So I get what they were going for with him being a private eye, you know, being able to snoop and investigate and see what the next card is. But yeah, I mean, I guess not much to work with. I mean, the fact we don't have an Iron Duck variant is also borderline criminal. He basically made himself an Iron Man-like suit. But yeah. So I guess just go with not much to work with. He's an anthropomorphic duck. That's a private eye. Yeah, so also he is a master of quack fu as well. All right, Hulk. I'm gonna put Hulk in spot on. I mean, the madder Hulk gets, the stronger Hulk gets. It's not about the more energy you get. I guess in that case, he's kind of. It should be whenever Hulk takes damage, he gains power. That'd be the way. So, like that'd be a better way of doing Hulk, I think. Yeah. Hulkbuster. It's a suit that you wear that gives you extra powers. My mouse scroll wheel is fucked. So yeah, Hulkbuster suit, spot on. There's no damage in Snap though. Well, there is. There's cards like Hazmat. You know, Scorpion. But yeah, you'd need to have like self damage cards in a way. All right, Human Torch grows stronger when you move him. Nah, I'm sorry. That's nothing like Human Torch. Yeah, he's one of the Fantastic Four. Got hit by cosmic radiation, let him basically spontaneously combust and fly. And he has the ability to go supernova when he wants, like in a big fiery explosion. But the whole move and he gets more power, no, that's got nothing to do with Human Torch. Iceman increases the cost of a card in your opponent's hand. No, I'm sorry. Like Human Torch, it's got nothing to do with Iceman. Iceman freezes shit. That's what he does. He freezes stuff. So he should, like, freeze a card in your opponent's hand so it can't be played for, like, a turn. That'd be cool. Get it? Cool. Iceman? Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I think that would be a much better ability, much more reflective of the character. Alright. Infinite. Infinite. Can't be played if you, yeah, if you played a card the previous turn, you can't play him. That's really got nothing to do with the character, but I'm going to give him not much to work with. Could be argued that's kind of what he does by increasing cost. Nah, just freeze the card so that it can't be played. Increasing the cost doesn't mean it can't be played. Yeah, Infinite, not much to work with. Infinite, Explorer from an alternate dimension, like a pacifist explorer from an alternate dimension. Really not much to work with. Alright, Invisible Woman makes other cards at the location invisible. That's pretty much what Invisible Woman does. She can make herself and others invisible. Yeah, I mean, there is a lot more to it. Like, she can create invisible constructs, you know, out of hard air molecules, I believe it is. And yeah, she can make herself and others invisible by refracting light. But yeah, she pretty much, that's what she does. All right, Iron Fist punches a card. I'm going to put that in not much to work with. So, kind of same as Electra, like he's a martial arts master. He can summon his chi into a flaming fist. Becomes a thing unto like iron, I believe is the catchphrase. But yeah, in Snap, he just punches something over a location. Running on I, going to be a long vid. I know, I'm not even going to be able to, yeah. I'm going to have to split this into sections, I think. Could be an under 10 power Shang. Yeah, and only one card. Something like that. Yeah, they definitely need to do something a bit more with him than that. Alright, Iron Lad copies the abilities of the next cards you play. That's got nothing to do with Iron Lad. Iron Lad is a young Kang from the future who was sent into the past to learn how to become a hero. And he idolized Iron Man, created his own Iron Lad suit. Yeah, and became a member of the Young Avengers. But he doesn't gain the abilities of other cards. That's not what he does. Like, yeah. He's not like Absorbing Man in that regard at all. So, yeah. And speaking of Iron Man doubles your power at the location. That's like, he's Iron Man. He's got a suit of high-tech armor with a bazillion gadgets in it. And all you have him do, and he's got 0 power. And all you have him do is double the power at a location. And he says, I am Iron Man. I'm sorry, but that's nothing at all like the character whatsoever. And similarly, Ironheart. She can join the Iron Trilogy in not even remotely close. She buffs other cards on the board. No. She's got a suit of armor like Iron Man. She also is the current possessor of the Mandarin's 10 Rings of Power in the comics.